Hey everybody, and welcome back to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. This is our Wednesday Super Formula Championship, and we're with the League 2 guys for the final round of this season. What a fantastic season it's been as well. Some brilliant racing throughout the past 9 weeks has brought us to this point now. Now, I did promise you last week that I would bring you the table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you the final table at the end of the race. So stick around after the race is finished, and I will give you, well, the top 5 anyway, as they stand in on the league championship. So it'll be the championship winner, top 5. You know what I mean. I'm not going to go into it all again. So yeah, round 10. We are at Belgium, and obviously when you come to Belgium, there's only one place you can really go to, and that's the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Apologies for my pronunciation to any of the Belgium-speaking population out there. We know it as Spa, and that's what we'll call it as. 4.3 miles and 20 turns of tarmac ahead of us. A fantastic track. Who does not like Spa? I don't think there's many that don't enjoy having a race around Spa. A fantastic track. As I've said, this is round 10, so we're just going to crack straight into this one. Have a look down the grid, see where they are. I think this is after qualifying. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's after a bit of qualifying. I always get this wrong every week, as you know. So we'll just have a look down there. What I do know is that PM10 is always, or pretty much always, at the front. And yeah, there he is again. I think they just bring his car over. They don't put it in the garage. They just put it on pole position, because that's where it's going to be. Does he qualify? I don't know. They just park his car there on pole. But there he is again, PM10 on pole position for the final race of the season. We've got RJS Racing just behind him, who is definitely up for a fight. And I'm sure he's going to be pushing PM10 as hard as he can for as long as he can. Grahamid, good to see him up there in the top 3. He's had a bit of an up and down season as Grahamid, but always a good race when he's involved. He does like to get in there amongst the leaders. Gets on with his own business, really. Doesn't really get into any fights and scuffles. He just gets on with his own business, but always finds himself in the top half of the table. And that's where he wants to be today. Digi, now I'm not sure if I've seen Digi before. I think it's a new name to me, or a new name to the channel anyway. So a cherry pop there for Digi on the Slowpoke Racing channel. Good to have you with us. P White in 5th. We've seen P White before. A very good competitor is P White. Then we've got Vane in 6th. I would love to see Vane get up on the podium. He's a very quick guy. It's just some silly mistakes that cost him in a lot of the races. Like I say, he is quick. He is very quick. As he's proved, he's got himself up there in P6. He just needs to keep it on the grey stuff. Then we've got Kian in 7th, just behind Vane. Kian, again, loves to get in there. He likes a bit of rough and tumble, gets his elbows out. He's not afraid of mixing it up with some of the big boys, is Kian. Again, a very, very quick driver is Kian. Raced with him quite a few seasons now, especially on a Wednesday. And yeah, he does like to get in there. And yeah, keep your eye on Kian. Then we've got Rufus, who just seems to get better and better each week. Obviously not had a great qualifying to find himself down there in 8th, but Rufus really has, especially the last couple of seasons, has just come on leaps and bounds. So good to see him on track. Steele in 9th, again, another one who I think is quick enough. He just makes some silly mistakes, and that's what's cost him this season. Again, a pretty quick driver. He just needs to stay on the grey stuff. Then we've got Fazzy 30 in 10. Now, I know this is a cherry popped here because I've not commentated on Fazzy. So, Fazzy, welcome to Slowpoke Racing. It is good to see you on track. So, looking forward to seeing what you can do. Then we've got the Saint just behind him in 11th. It's good to see Saint on there in that beautiful golden helmet. And it's almost like the John Player special livery there, isn't it? But he's adapted it for the Saint. We always have this discussion every time we look at the Saints car, whether it was a 70s show or not. And every time I get corrected, I always forget. So apologies for that, Saint, but nice to have you on grid. And then we've got G. Smith down there in 12th. Now, I think G. Smith was involved in a race. I covered a Sunday race for one of my fellow commentators who couldn't do it. I think it was the Amateur 2 split. And I'm pretty sure that G. Smith was in there, and he had a pretty good race as well, actually. So it'd be nice to see what he can do in the super formulas. So back up to the top, let's get the normal camera, and we'll get this race underway, shall we? You know the rules by now, all 3 compound tyres have to be used, so there's going to be at least 2 pit stops. The rest of it is entirely up to the guys. It is Spa, I'm not sure whether the weather's set to random or not, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. We might get a bit of wet stuff, probably not, but we live in hope anyway. As you can see, a couple of the guys go a bit wide there as they came out of Rouge, and it was P. White, he's picked up a penalty, and Grahamid as well picked up half a second, but as they all head towards Lacooms at turn 6, 7, 8 and 9, sorry, for the first time, they're all pretty much bunched up at the minute as Grahamid slips down the grid a little bit. Now who's that? Rufus, very, very wide on the exit of turn 9 as we head down the hill towards turn 10 at Bruxelles. And poor old Rufus finds himself at the back of the pack now after that little off, but he has kept it on the tarmac anyway, so all still bunched up. Well, what? Hang on a minute, what's going on? We've got to go back, PM10. What has happened to PM10? We've got to go right back to the start, haven't we? What happened here? PM10 on pole position, hit to Rouge first, onto the Kemmel Straight, no problems there whatsoever. RJS into the slipstream. Now we're going to see a lot of this actually, slipstreaming, and RJS and Digi getting right up there. Come on, easy pass for RJS and Digi, and I think that caught PM10 out. Now PM10's on the medium tyres. Digi a little bit of lag I think kicking in there, I'm not quite sure, but PM10 just taking it easy I think. Vane sniffing around the rear end of PM10's car in fourth. Oh, and that was it. Got the back tyres onto that AstroTurf, and that was good night Vienna. The back end just decided it had enough and flipped out on PM10, has dropped him down to 7, so that's what's happened there. So yeah, PM10, the guy on pole position, is now down in 8th and being challenged as well by Steele. Steele trying to take that P8 away from him. It is all kicking off in this first lap here at Spa. RJS has now taken up the lead of this race and he's trying to scamper away from Digi. Now RJ on at the medium tyres. What is Digi? Digi is on at the mediums as well. There is a little bit of lag kicking in I think from Digi, but hopefully that's not going to affect him or any of the guys around him during this race. So Digi just tucking in behind RJ as they come up to the bus stop chicane for the very first time, and to end lap 1 as we come around these final few turns. Just be a little bit careful on the gas on the way out, that the back end comes around on you. Look at Vane up to 3rd. This is what we wanted to see. Now then Vane, just deep breaths, keep calm, stay on the tarmac. I want some good stuff from you today. Ooh, the back end getting a bit squirrely there as Vane puts the power down coming out of La Source at turn 1. Up to Rouge then at turn 2 then. It is full throttle through here in these cars. They do grip like sticky stuff. So a lot of grip with these cars. They do have the overtake button as well. You can see it was glowing red there as Vane used it to just climb up the hill through Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. So that's what the little red button is on the overtake. Then we've got Kian. He's made his way up into 4th. Good start for Kian on the soft tyres. So he's going to be challenging Vane, I'm sure, pretty soon, as the top 3 guys all on mediums. Kian on the soft tyres. He'll want to try and get up there and amongst the leaders as quickly as he can, as Vane goes very, very deep on the exit of turn 11, and Kian says thank you very much and steps through the gap and moves up into P3. So Kian on those soft tyres, trying to make them work for him. My phone just keeps on ringing. Unfortunately, it's going to have to ring. Apologies if you can hear the phone ringing. I'm sorry about that one. Vane in 4th then, P. White in 5th. Then we've got PM10 in 6th. Rufus is in 7th. Faz in 8th. The Saint in 9th. Grahamid in 10th. Steele in 11th. And Smith down in 12th. So Rufus making his way through the pack and up to 7th. And phone ringing. So we're going to go back up to the top. It really is putting me off at the minute. I do apologise. So RJ then, I'm going to put it on silent. I've got to. So RJ then, still leading. He cannot get away from Digi though, can he? Digi sticking with him, both on the medium tyres, and giving him a good run for his money at the minute is Digi. So yeah, the newcomer showing us what he's worth, and certainly stall out very early as these two try and break away. We've got Kian still in third with Vane in fourth. So Vane getting into the slipstream of Kian, can't quite get close enough, I don't think, as they head towards LeCombs. No, it is Kian still holding on to P3, Vane in P4, but still in there, and a bit of a gap then back to P White. Few car lengths distance between those two. P White holding on to fifth, P White on the hard tyres, so doing a fantastic job at the minute on those hards. PM10 on the mediums, trying to make his way back through the grid after that spill he had, and gone very deep again. Oh, and he's come off again. A bit of a 360 there for PM10. This turn 11 really does seem to be giving him some trouble. I think that was the same place as last time. So PM10, he's had a bit of a kiss with barrier and picked up some damage at the front. So he's got to wait for that to be repaired. But PM10 does seem to be struggling around this track, especially on those mediums. You wait till he gets onto the hard tyres. Not the race he wanted, especially the final race. Fazzy in 8th, he's all over the back of PM10. He'll be encouraged by those mistakes that PM10 is making. Fazzy in 8th. Then we've got Grahamid dropped down to 9th. Not the best of starts, picked up that penalty, didn't he, very early on, with all the hustle and bustle that went on in those first few turns. But Grahamid is sitting there in 9th, all on his lonesome at the minute, as he comes up towards the bus stop chicane for the third time. Just taking it easy on those hard tyres, I think, is Grahamid. Just needs to, oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who's this? That's why have we got a yellow? Let's have a look. I can't see anything. Whatever it was has got itself sorted out. Grahamid then in, as I say, in 8th on the hard tyres through turn 1 at La Source. He's got Fazzy chasing him down. Fazzy on the softs. He's got a bit of damage to the back, so whether he's got a bit of a punt or he spun round and hit the barrier. Sorry we missed that one, but Fazzy at the minute chasing Grahamid, just waiting for that damage to be fixed. There we go, it's all done. The nanobots have done their job, and Fazzy is back up to full speed. So he is chasing Grahamid down and along the Camel Straight. Then we've got the Saint in 10th. He's got Steele just behind him, but Steele looks like he's carrying a penalty as we follow the Saint through LeCombs down towards turn 10. We will go on board with somebody shortly and do a full lap of this fantastic track. We're just following the Saint in 10th. Steele in 11th, but he has got half a second penalty, so even if he gets by the Saint, he's going to have to give that place back up again when they get to the penalty zone. And then G Smith down in 12th, so whether G Smith has had a bit of an issue as well, not quite got used to the car or the tyres. A couple of guys on track I think could be new to these cars, G Smith being one of them, Fazzy being another one, and Digi. Well, if Digi is new to the car, he doesn't look like it, does he, as he is up there in second, just behind this man, RJS Racing. Now there is a little bit of a gap opening up between RJ and Digi at the minute, but Digi's still holding on to second, but he has got Kian all over him, so jump on board with Kian, shall we, as we chase Digi up towards turn 1 at La Source. This really sharp right-hander, being careful when you go onto the power. Oh, and Digi's lost it. Digi has dropped it. Let's get out of here and have a look and see what happened there. As we came into La Source, you can see Digi just got on the power. We were just talking about that. Gets on the power too early, and the back end decides it's going to overtake the front, and that's Digi from second down to 5th, maybe 6th. He's struggling to get back on track. No traction control. Maybe he needs. Oh, he's in all sorts of issues. The lag's not helping either. Maybe you ought to stick the traction control on Digi just to get yourself back on track and facing the right way. But that's Digi from second down into 7th. What a shame for that to happen. We were on board with Kian, weren't we? We were looking for a bit of a battle, but Kian now promoted to P2. Vane up to P3. Come on, Vane. I want to see you on the podium. P White in fourth. Let's have a look, see if we can find a battle, shall we? Rufus, let's jump on board with Rufus and see whether he can take us for a couple of corners as we try and keep up with PM10 just ahead. Now Rufus on the soft tyres, should be able to keep up with PM10, who's on the mediums, I believe. Remember that all guys have to use all compounds throughout this race. It's a 50-minute race, so, well, I'm not even going to bother trying to work the laps out. 20 something, 25 laps, not like that. You do the maths. As we follow Rufus, pushing hard to try and keep up to the back of PM10. Good little battle developing here between these three. We got P White in P4. PM10 just behind him, with Rufus just behind him in 6. So yeah, good little battle. P White will be conscious of PM10 bearing down on him. P White on those hard tyres, PM10 on the mediums, Rufus on the soft. So this could be an interesting fight here as we head down towards the bus stop chicane. PM10 is having a right good sniff around the rear end of P White's Super Formula car as they cross the start finish line to start lap 6. PM10 looking to pick his moment. He's probably going to wait until they get around La Source at turn 1. Maybe make a move as they come up towards Eau Rouge, or especially when they go into Radion. No, there we go. He's had enough already. He's pulled out and goes for it before they get to Eau Rouge at turn 2, and they start that steep climb up through Radion. So PM10 up to 4th. P White down into 5th, with Rufus just behind him in 6th. You could just see, I think it was P White. No, it wasn't. It was PM10 that was using the overtake button just to push himself up the hill. He's trying to break away from P White. Should be okay because he is on the softer compound tyres, is PM10, so he should be able to take these corners just slightly quicker than P White. But PM10 has got the hard tyres to look forward to, whereas P White will get rid of them as soon as he possibly can. Rufus now, oh, Rufus very deep. This turn 11 really does seem to be catching quite a few of the guys out, actually. They are running quite wide onto the AstroTurf. Now Rufus was lucky there. He didn't spin out, managed to catch it and keep it facing the right way. We've seen PM10 come unstuck twice there. Digi down in 7th after his big spin and, well, struggled to get back on track, didn't he? Then we've got Grahamid in 8th, still on those hard tyres. The fuel starting to disappear on these guys though, so the car's getting lighter. The guys on the hard tyres, although they've got the grips there, they need to be careful with the lighter cars starting to, the back end starting to go on them. Fazzy just behind. Let's jump on board with Fazzy, and as we're following Grahamid, we're going up through Blanchimont now, heading towards the bus stop chicane for the 6th time. Foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal all the way through Blanchimont, then hard into the braking zone at the bus stop chicane, and you can see that Fazzy doing a fantastic job of actually getting that car slowed down before he ran into the back of Grahamid. Not a great exit though, he won't be pleased with that one as we come down towards turn 1, hoping for a better exit out of turn 1, then he can get the power down nice and early and get into the slipstream of Grahamid. A quick look behind us, no threat at all. Steele is quite a distance away as we go now up through Eau Rouge and then up into Radion and onto the Camel Straight, and Fazzy into the slipstream of Grahamid. Is it going to pull him in and get him close enough before they get to Lacombe's at turn 7? Oh, is Fazzy going to have a look? I don't think he's close enough. No, he's quite happy to just sit there behind Graham, get a bit of a free toe. He's just going to have to pick his moment a little bit more careful. Oh, a bit squirrely as we come out of turn 9, but managed to catch it into turn 10 at Bruxelles. Now then, be careful at turn 11. It's caught a few of the guys out. This AstroTurf out there on the right, but very neatly done from Fazzy. Kept it on track. Now then, we've got a yellow flag. What have we got the yellow flags for? Again, I cannot see anything. So back up to the top and see what's happening with RJS. In fact, RJS is just coming up to the bus stop chicane, so we'll jump on board and we'll do a full lap with RJ. He can take us around. He's got the fastest lap, so let's see if he can beat it with us on board. So up towards turn 1, this very, very sharp right-hander at La Source. cutting as much as you dare, using as much of the track as you can out there on the left. Then it's up towards Arouge at turn 2, and we start the climb then into Radion. Very steep climb through turn 3, 4 and 5 onto Kemmel Straight through turn 6, and we head now towards Lecombs at turn 7, 8 and 9. It's almost like a chicane section of the track. Being a bit gentle with the old throttle. There we go through turn 9 and down towards Bruxelles at turn 10. This hairpin bend, long right-hander hairpin, and then into turn 11, which, as we've said, has already caught a few out getting onto that AstroTurf, but RJ made it look very easy. Then we start on down the hill towards Poulon at turn 12, a long sweeping left-hander, just clipping the apex of the inside and outside curves. Then through to Campus at turn 13, a series of right, left turns down the hill towards 15, still descending into turn 16 at Stavelot, which then will bring us through and onto Blanchimont, and RJS just using maybe a little bit too much of the track there. Very lucky to get away with that one, but as we go through Blanchimont, through turn 17 and 18, we head down then towards the bus stop chicane to finish the lap off, hard on the brakes, and the fuel light flashing. So is RJ going to come into the pits? No, he thinks he can get one more lap out of that fuel tank, and across the line we go then for a 56.0. So a little bit off his own pace really, but he's still out in front by quite some distance as well, so RJ can afford just to take it easy just a little bit. Vane has now moved up into second as Vane has come into the pits. He's decided the fuel light flashing is enough to make him come in. Rufus got himself up into third. He's also into the pits. Digi, after his big spill, has decided to stay out. He's got enough fuel anyway. So he's should leapfrog the guys. He has. He's now moved up into P3. Mohammed moves up into fourth on those hard tyres. He'll be coming in probably at the end of this lap to get a fresh set of boots and a full fill up of the fuel tank. So that's Mohammed in fourth. Steele in fifth. He's decided he's going to stay out as well, although the fuel light is flashing, but still trying to get as much as he can out of those soft tyres. Fuel going into the cars of Rufus and Vane, so Rufus now out. Let's have a look who else came out. The Saint, no, it was Kian. Kian has pitted. He's now out on a fresh set of medium tyres and up into seventh, but bearing down on the Saint in sixth. So Kian will be looking to make a move on the Saint. He's onto the Kemmel Straight now, into the slipstream of the car in front. Is he going to get the job done before we get to turn 7 at the Coombs? No, he's not. So he's just going to have to sit behind the Saint for just a couple of more turns. Kian on the mediums, the Saint on the hard tyres. So it's pretty inevitable really that Kian's going to get by at some point, but the Saint has also got to pit for fuel. So whether he'll come in at the end of this lap, we shall see. Kian, well, he'll be aware of that. I'm sure his race director is feeding him all this information. RJ, our race leader, is into the pit then, as PM10 takes up P2. Well, we don't. What's happened there? What? Oh, I think Kian came into the pits, didn't he? Of course he did. So PM10 will be coming into the pits. The fuel light is telling him he's not got enough to make it to the end of the next lap. So he is in. RJ is in, just about to reach the pit crew. There we go. Just getting some go-go juice now is RJ. PM10 is just about getting into the pits. Then we've got Digi. He's decided to come in as well. Grahamid is in. Steele is in. The Saint, well, he's going to come in anyway. Kian is the next one who, well, he doesn't have to come in, does he, Kian? So he's going to be pushing and trying to catch up to the back of RJ. Now then, Kian is heading down towards turn 1 as RJ is coming out of the pits. I think PM10 is going to be coming out of the pits pretty soon actually, so it's just a case of keeping an eye on where Kian is. RJ is going to rejoin back out in front, so he regains the lead of this race. Kian moves up into second as he passes the pit exit, but PM10 should be on his way out now. So Kian moves up into P2. Rufus moves up into P3 with P White pushing him all the way. Now it's side by side as they get onto the Camel Straight and head down towards the Coombs. It is P White on the inside of Rufus and gets the pass done before they get to turn 7. P White on those medium tyres, Rufus on the hard, which is probably why Rufus really didn't fight that hard. Then we've got Vane in 5th after his pit stop. He's now out on the set of hard tyres, so it's time to do the stint on hards for him. PM10 is on soft, so now we can start to see PM10 starting to push. And I would expect that RJ's fastest lap of 1:54.7 is now going to be under threat as PM10 gets a fresh set of soft tyres on. He's just got to get by Vane. Vane won't make it easy for him, I'm sure, and he has every right to defend the position he's in at the minute. Having a fantastic race so far is Vane. I'm not trying to curse it, but he is doing a really good job. How long he can keep PM10 behind him, though, is a big question. He is on the hard tyres, and we do know how quick PM10 is. He is very, very keen to clear Vane and start chasing after the guys up there in the top 3 and 4. So PM10, he's probably just going to bide his time now. They're going to get through the bus stop chicane and get the job done before they hit turn 1. If he doesn't get it done there, then he's also got a Rouge and a Camel Straight to make the pass. So it is only a matter of time. I think Vane can only do so much on those hard tyres of keeping PM10 behind him. There we go, into turn 1. We'll just stick with these guys just for the next couple of laps, just until PM... Oh, as Vane gets very squiggly, that has made it very easy for PM10. I don't think he quite expected to make the pass just yet, but Vane just managed to catch it, so good car control, but that cost him that position. But it was always going to happen, wasn't it, with the hard tyres on the Vane's car. So Vane now down to 6, although he's not letting it go, is he? He's not giving it to PM10, he is pushing him. He's having a bit of a cheeky look up the inside as they get towards turn 7. Well, there's nothing doing there. We are 21 minutes into this 50-minute race, so quite a way to go yet. Digi into 7th, having a fantastic start to the race, didn't he? But has dropped off after that big spill, and that lag really is a bother, isn't it? I'm not sure he knows much about it. But the other guys obviously will see it bouncing around all over the place. It's not his fault, obviously, it's the internet. Grahamid then sitting in P8, having made a pit stop. He's now out on a set of medium tyres. Grahamid just going about his business at the minute, trying to catch up to the back of Digi. Then we've got Fazzy in P9. He's now out on the hard tyres after making his stop. Steele in 10th. Then we've got the Saint and G Smith in 12th. Not having a fantastic race, but then again, it is probably his first time in this car, so we'll forgive him that one. They're not the easiest of cars to try. They do take some getting used to, especially the grip. It's just unbelievable how much grip these cars have got. We're back up to the top with RJ, and wow, he has got a fantastic lead. If you look at the map in the top right, the little red triangle is RJ. Then we drop down to Kian, who is next, and you can see it is basically the length of the Camel Straight, really. That's the distance. You can just see RJS heading down towards Bruxelles as Kian just heads up towards turn 7, but Kian doing a fantastic job in second at the minute, and got a decent gap, good bit of breathing space back to P White, and P White there sitting in 3rd. He's not under any great pressure at all either. Rufus is some distance behind, sitting in 4th, and Rufus has got PM10 behind him. So shall we jump on board with PM10 as we watch this battle unfold? As we go around turn 10 down towards turn 11, PM10 will be very conscious. He's come a proper twice there already this race, but makes it look easy this time. Down the hill towards Poulon at turn 12, and PM10 doing everything he can to get onto the back of Rufus. He is on those soft tyres, and has the fastest lap now, as we called it earlier, a 54.6, and you can see how quickly PM10 caught up to Rufus. Now then, is he going to think about it? Yes, he had a bit of a look, didn't he? He's tried to put Rufus off. That was a bit of a suspect move there from PM10. Backed out at the last minute. I think he did that more just to try and put Rufus off. But I very much doubt he was actually going for the move. He just either did it to try and avoid the collision into the back of Rufus. As we come down towards the bus stop chicane, that was close. In fact, let us go back and have another look at this from a different angle. That was so close. Rufus just seemed to slow right down, and PM10, well, what a great manoeuvre to avoid a collision there. I think that really caught PM10 out. Rufus, well, he didn't slam the brakes on, he just seemed to slow right down, didn't he, on the hard tyres. I think Rufus was just aware that PM10 was looking to get by him, and again, wasn't going to put up much of a fight with the hard tyres, so decided, look, let's get the inevitable over and done with now, and he let PM10 through. So Rufus down into 5th, but still having a good race is Rufus. Then we've got Vane in 6th, dropped down a little bit after the pit stops, but we're still rooting for Vane. We still want to get him up onto the podium, although he has got Graham chasing him down. So if we go on board with Vane and we have a quick look behind us, what a fantastic shot that is, as Graham using that slipstream pulls right up behind Vane and then alongside him as they go in towards turn 7. But I think Graham has done the sensible thing there and just backed out to avoid that contact between the two of them. So Vane holds on to 6 as they go down the hill towards Brachel's at turn 10. This long sweeping hairpin of a turn at turn 10. Graham getting closer and closer again into turn 11. Graham having a proper good sniff around the rear end of Vane's car as they're down the hill towards Poulon again at turn 12. Graham sticking with Vane all the way. Is Graham going to get any closer? No, he's not. I thought he was going to get there before we get into turn 13. Couldn't quite make it, so Graham just sitting there, biding his time. Actually, this is good racing from Graham, but it is giving Digi a chance to catch up to the back of him as we come around Stavelot onto Blanchimont. Graham really needed to be a little bit closer than he is and into that slipstream. You know, I'm sure he would like to have got the job done before they get to the bus stop chicane. Sparks flying from the protection plate underneath Vane's car as we get to the bus stop, and it is Vane that hits it first, taking it nice and steady. You can see Rufus just ahead has come into the pits. Graham now then a good exit out of the bus stop, and Graham looking to make a move. He's going to have to go around the outside though at turn 1, so Vane hard onto the brakes. Oh, what a fantastic move. If Graham can make it stick, or has he lost it? No, he's managed to hold on to it. Brilliant move from Graham all the way around the outside at turn 1 to get past Vane. Brilliant stuff from these racers. Plenty of racing room between the two of them. Good awareness from Vane as well. He knew that Graham was there. So Graham tries to scamper off. Vane gets into the slipstream, but look, Digi is right there behind Vane and looking to make a move as well. Digi on the hard tyres. Vane also on the hards with Graham on the mediums. So Graham looking to get a bit of distance between the two guys behind him now as they come down towards turn 10. Let's have a look, see what's happening elsewhere. Steele sitting in P8 at the minute, all on his lonesome. Out on the medium tyres, just keeping things steady. He's doing 158, so nice and steady for Steele. Rufus, having made a stop, 4 seconds, ouch. That has got to be 3 seconds for a penalty for a pit lane infringement, and then 1 second for going off track. That is a shame for Rufus, 4 seconds. That is going to hurt. It's not going to affect his track position. He's going to stay in 9th when he serves that penalty, but it is going to take him further and further away from Steele, so not ideal for Rufus. We come down to 10th, and we've got the Saint sitting there in 10th, having a good steady race. He's got Fazzy not that far behind him. If we get a decent shot, you can look in the distance and you can see Fazzy 30 trying desperately to catch up to Vane. Just look in the distance, there he is, as Fazzy comes around turn 11 and heads down the hill towards turn 10, chasing the Saint in that JPS livery. I'm sure it's JPS. He's adapted it to himself. He's done a fantastic job as well, actually. I do like the look of that car. The black and gold. Who doesn't love a bit of black and gold? And that's the Saint sitting there in 10th with the little symbol on the nose cone. Then we've got Fazzy in 11th, newcomer to, I think he's new to the Ultimate Racing League, certainly new to Slowpoke Racing. Good to have you with us, Fazzy. Sitting there in 11th. And then Smith in 12th. As I say, I think I did a Sunday championship in which G Smith took part in, and if I remember right, he had a pretty decent race actually. So just maybe struggling in the super formulas. As I say, they are very, very difficult cars to master. So we'll go back up to the top, and RJS has, well, everything working out according to plan for him. As we just about hit the 30-minute mark, he has got quite a commanding lead at the minute. We have got P. White in second. Oh, what's happened to Kian? Kian was in second, wasn't he? Has Kian made another stop? I think he may have made another stop actually, Kian. That's why he's down in 8th. So he was second as Kian. I missed that one. So Kian into the pits. He's on the hard tyres now and a full tank of fuel. Is that going to take him to the end of the race? I'm not so sure. We'll go back up and have a look and see what's happening then. P. White, as I said, is in second still, with PM10 bearing down on him. PM10 desperately trying to make up for that mistake he made in the first couple of laps, spun him twice actually. Well, definitely first lap, and then I think it was third or fourth. But PM10 making a relatively easy pass on P. White. PM10 on the soft tyres, P. White on those mediums, and the fuel light flashing as well, so he's probably a bit conscious of that. Maybe just looking after the fuel as PM10 goes through. PM10 got plenty of fuel, quarter of a tank, well just over quarter of a tank, but the tyres are starting to go, so he'll start to feel that now as he moves up into P2, but a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to catch up to RJS Racing. But if anybody can do it, PM10 can. One more stop each for these guys, and that could be crucial actually when they do decide to come into change the tyres. Now, if I remember rightly, PM10 has got to go onto the hard tyres, and well, I think so has RJ. RJ started on the mediums as well, so both got to go onto the hard tyres. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who handles them better. RJ at the minute with quite a comfortable gap, although the gap I would imagine is closing as PM10 starts to push. He's already opened up a gap back to P. White. PM10 maybe thinking about a pit stop over the next couple of laps. He's down to quarter of a tank of fuel and tyres. What do you think, about 40% wear? But PM10 I know would dearly love to catch up to the back of RJS Racing before the pair of them hit the pit lane. And P. White has decided to come in. Well, he's had to. He's been forced in through lack of fuel. So that is the guy in P3. So Grahamid moves up now as he approaches turn 1. Grahamid will take over and get a foot on the podium, albeit maybe a bit short-lived, because he has got another pit stop to make, but Grahamid will move up into P3. Where is Digi? Digi is just coming up to turn 1 as well, so he should leapfrog P. White. This is going to drop P. White down a couple of spots, isn't it? Where is he going to come out? That's the important bit. Still just going around turn 1 at the source. P. White fully fueled up and on his way out of the pit. Now then, let's have a look. Steele, it's showing that Steele's gone through. He's not actually gone through until he's passed the pit exit, but I don't think that P. White is going to catch him. There we go, Steele goes through, passes the pit exit as P. White comes out. Now P. White is going to come out just ahead of Kian. doesn't pick any penalties up, which is good. So P White now down to 6, Kian in 7th, Rufus in 8th, Vane, Fazzy, the Saint, and then G Smith. So back up to the top, RJ, the tyres starting to look a bit sorry for themselves now as PM10 tries to chase him down. Let's have a look at the fuel, both about the same fuel wise. And you know what, I think that gap is closing between PM10 and RJS. Let's have a look at the overtake juice. Now then, RJ, well, he has got slightly more. He is using it now. I think he's conscious that PM10 is chasing him, and he's starting to use that overtake button just to try and get him up the hills and out of the turns. PM10, maybe he's saving a little bit. He knows there's a battle ahead of him when they get onto the hard tyres, so he may well be saving a little bit of overtake stuff for that battle with RJS. Fuel light on for PM10. It's probably going to be the same for RJS, so both of them are going to have to pit at the end of this lap. Now, as I said earlier, I know that PM10 would dearly love to be a bit closer to RJS when they do come into the pit and get onto those hard tyres. At the minute though, it looks like RJ has managed to maintain the gap. I thought it was closing, but I think it's being maintained. Hamid just coming up to complete lap 18. He'll be diving into the pits as he exits the bus stop chicane. We can see that Digi is into the pits, so is Steele, and Grahamid clocking up a fast sector there. He's not going to make the fast lap. He will have to pit at the end of this lap. Unfortunately, he was on for a fast lap then, wasn't he, as well, Graeme? Let's have a look then. So RJS on to Blanchimont, heading towards the bus stop. Will be coming into the pits at the end of this lap, as will RJS, PM10. So RJ and PM10, the guys in 1 and 2, will be pitting. Grahamid also in P3. He's going to have to pit, but a nice decent gap actually back to P White. But P White has already made a stop. He is on the soft tyres, and he's got a lot of fuel as well, so P White could well make it to the end of this race. So it is all, I think, between P White and Grahamid to see who gets on the podium between those two. RJ into the pits, PM10 into the pits. Grahamid will be coming in, so it is now down to P White. He needs to put... Oh no, the commentator's curse. What an absolute disaster. Let's go back and see what happened. An absolute disaster for P White. He knew he had to push and couldn't quite get out of turn 14 properly and into the gravel. What a shame for P White. Now then, he's back on track. It's not cost him a track position. What it has cost him though is a decent chunk of time. Now we can see the fuel starting to go into RJS and PM10's car. Grahamid is the important one as far as P White is concerned as he comes through Blanchimont. Grahamid has not quite reached the pit crew yet, just about there now as the guys dive into action. Look like coiled springs. P White into the bus stop chicane. RJS is out of the pits. PM10 is on his way out of the pits. Now then, the fuel's starting to grow into Grahamid's car. This is where the race is on at the minute between P White and Grahamid. Grahamid is screaming at the guys to get that fuel into that car. He needs to get out of the pits as P White goes through. Now then, he's starting the climb up through Arouge and Radian onto the Kemmel Straight. Will P White go? Is he going to get there ahead of Grahamid? It looks like he will. Grahamid cannot get out of the pits quick enough. Kian's going to go through as well, so Grahamid dropped a couple of places with that pit stop. What a shame for him. I think well, we've got 13 minutes. He may have put too much fuel in, I'm not sure. But Grahamid rejoins in P5. P White moves up into P3 and onto the podium with Kian chasing him down. So Kian sitting in 4th. He senses a taste of the old champagne is on the cards for him if he can catch up to the back of P White. Now let's see what's happening up at the top. RJS back out on a set of hard tyres and enough fuel to take him to the end of the race. PM10 also on the hard tyres is going to be pushing quite hard because he wants, well, he'd love to finish on a high, wouldn't he, and get another win under his belt. So PM10 in second at the minute, doing everything he can to chase RJ. He has got one of the back markers in front of him, G Smith. I'm sure Smith will move out of the way at the earliest opportunity and allow PM10 to go through as G Smith gets into the bus stop chicane. He will cross the line to start lap 19, as will PM10. Well, PM10's going to cross the line to start lap 20, so poor old Smith is a lap down. Where is RJ? RJ just about to go into Radion now, and PM10 on his way, so it is going to get close. P White in third. We can just see Kian coming into the pit, so Kian has decided he's going to come into the pits and he's probably going to go on to some soft tyres. He doesn't like the hards, so 3 stops for Kian. He's going to go on to the soft tyres, I'm sure. He will be back out, but that is going to cost him dearly, I think, as Grahamid comes around turn 1. He is on the soft tyres and heads on up the hill. P White has already gone through on the soft tyres, so P White looking good for a podium finish now, isn't he, with Grahamid just about to come on to the Kemmel Straight. We have about just over 10 minutes of this race to go. It is I think going to be between P White and Grahamid, although Grahamid, there is quite a distance between them, so at the minute P White looking quite comfortable for a podium finish. PM10 struggling to get by G Smith at the minute. He manages to get it done now as they go through turn 13 at Campus, so PM10 manages to clear Smith and he's now on after RJ. Now then, where is RJ? That distance, I think that's got a little bit bigger. I think RJ has opened up a bit more of a gap back to PM10, so at the minute RJS looking very comfortable for the win as we're into the last 10 minutes of this race. Let's have a look and see if we can find another battle. Digi down in 5th, he's all on his lonesome. Everybody spread out at the back here, aren't they? Bain in 6th, Kian in 7th, then we've got Steele in 8th, Rufus in 9th, a big gap then back to Fazzy in 10th, and even bigger gap back to the Saint. Oh, he's just coming out of the pits, that's why. So the Saint made his final stop. He's now coming out on soft tyres. He's got the blue flags being waved. We're not sure who's that behind him. Oh, it is RJ. It is our race leader. So the Saint will not want to get in his way. And there we go. The Saint moves over to the right to allow RJ through. That's good racing from the Saint. Straight out of the pits, fresh, cold tyres. Didn't want to get in RJ's way. Moves over to the right. Fantastic stuff from the Saint. That's how to do it. G Smith down in 12th, all on his lonesome as well. So and yeah, we don't have a battle to actually bring you at the minute. They're all quite spread out. The closest I think we've got is Grahamid on P White, and there is still got a gap between the two of them, but who should we let's just go on board and annoy somebody, shall we? Who should we bother? Let's go on board with Vane, shall we? We've not been on board with Vane for a while though. So we're on to the Kemmel Straight with Vane. He is on his own. A quick look behind us, and well, knowing that we just about see Kian coming around the corner there in the distance as we get into Lacoombs at turn 7, 8 and 9, and Vane pushing hard. His fastest lap is a 156.4. Last lap was a 2:07 on, he is on the soft tyres as well. As I've said before, Vane is very quick. He just needs to shake off some of these little mistakes that he makes. And we have got a pretty quick driver on our hands. Again, another quick look behind us, and that's some distance between himself and Kian. So Vane looking good. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Now then, what is that about? Can't really see anything on the map. I don't know, it may be one of the back markers. Who is it? I'm not sure. Oh, somebody's having a bit of a moment there. Is it Steele? I think it may have been. It may have been Steele having a bit of a moment there. I'm not sure who it was, but let's have a look and see what's happening up at the top then with RJ still out in front, and still quite a distance back to PM10. We are, let's have a look at the time, 7 minutes of this race to go, so RJ just needs to hold on for about another 4 or 5 laps. Doing a fantastic job. He has actually ran a very, very good race as RJ. Got himself out in front very early, and well, he never looked back, did he? PM10 on the other hand, those early spills, started on pole position, came off at turn 11 I think it was, in on the first lap, and then did exactly the same thing a couple of laps later, and that put him right down the order, and he's been trying to fight his way through the grid ever since. P. White, another great race from P. White, and looking safe for the podium is P. White. Not quite. Oh, Grahamid I think may have made a pit stop because Digi has moved up into 4th. Vane is into 5th, and then Grahamid is down in 6th. Well, I'm not so sure he has made a stop. I think Grahamid may have made a mistake somewhere along the lines. Has dropped him down to 6. He was challenging, wasn't he, for a podium at one point, but I think that's pretty much it now for Grahamid. 6 is the best he can hope for. I think maybe 5th and an absolute push 4th. So something's happened somewhere along the lines that we missed. Apologies for that, but Grahamid, he'll still be happy with a 6th. There's nothing wrong with a 6th position, especially with the guys you've got on track around him. Kean in 7th. Oh, Kean off onto the kitty litter. Look at the dirty tyres. You need to clear them with a couple of turns coming up, and Smith looking to go by him as though Kean. Well, on to Blanchimont, so it's a good long run. He should be able to clear the tyres before we get to the bus stop chicane. Just need to be a little bit conscious that there may still be a bit of grit on them. Smith has got lap, so I think it might be an idea if he just sits in Kean's slipstream. Then we've got Steele down in 8th, with Rufus in 9th, Fazzy in 10th, the Saint 11th, and then, as we've seen, Smith down in 12th. So really it just remains for RJ, I think, just to coast that car back home. Doesn't want to push them too hard. He's on those hard tyres. Last lap was 1:56.1. Where is PM10? Yeah, there's some distance still back to PM10, so RJ should be okay. His last lap was a 56.0, so only 1/10 in it. Really, the difference between lap times. RJS has regained the fastest lap as well, of 53.7. I think PM10 nicked it at one point, so RJS going for absolute maximum points here in Belgium, with just 4 minutes to go of this race. PM10, I don't think he's going to catch up to the back of RJS unless RJ makes a mistake. As PM10 comes up to turn 1, then P. White looking very comfortable for the 3rd podium spot. Then we have quite a gap then back to Digi, who's sitting in 4th. He's a good. This would be a good result for his first time out in these cars. I'm sure it's his first time out in it. Forgive me if it's not. I cannot remember seeing him on grid before, so if it is his first time out, then that is a very respectable finish. P4 for Digi, so looking forward to seeing more from him. Vane in 5th. Grahamid has caught up to the back of Vane, so we could have a bit of a fight on our hands in the remaining lap or two, so we'll jump on board with Grahamid as we go around turn 1. You can see the traction control kicking in as Grahamid tries to get the power down on this Honda car. Up through Radion onto the Camel Straight, and just about in the slipstream I think is Grahamid. A quick look behind. There's no danger from anybody behind as we get into turns 7, 8 and 9 at Lacoons, and Grahamid is now sniffing around the rear end of Vane, so Vane will be conscious of that. Down the hill towards turn 10 we go. Grahamid, well, he'll be keen, won't he, to get that P5 away from Vane. And Vane is, well, he's just, I think he's pushing a bit too hard. And the back end of the car is getting very, very squirrely on him. Into turn 12 they go. Grahamid just plunking over those curbs. Has pushed it a little bit further to Vane now. As we go into turns 13, 14, down the hill towards turn 15. Grahamid will be looking for a good exit out of turn 16 at Stavelot. If he can get into the slipstream of Vane as they enter onto Blanchimont, then he may well be able to make a pass before they get to the bus stop chicane, and that's how good that slipstream is. It's pulled Grahamid right up close, and there we go, he's passed. So Grahamid moves up into P5 and Vane down to P6, all done before they get to the bus stop chicane. Some fantastic stuff from Grahamid. Vane on the soft side, although he is conscious of the fuel, I think, and that's probably what's done it for Vane. He's got the fuel light flashing, so he's only got one more lap to go. Good job, it is the last lap for him. Let's have a look and see what's happening up at the top then, as RJ comes around campus at turn 13, 14 and 15. Is this going to be for the final time? He may well get one more lap in, I'm not sure. He has got enough fuel, so it's not a problem to him. PM10. Well, he's praying this is the last lap, because he's not going to make one more. So I think the victory is RJ's to lose, really, as he comes to the end of Blanchimont, heading towards the bus stop chicane. We've got about 20 odd seconds to go, so RJ could well get another lap in. As I said, it's not a problem to him. He's got more than enough tyres and more than enough fuel. So RJ will cross the line to start another lap. PM10 on the other hand doesn't want another lap. Now then, we are into the last few seconds, so PM10 into the bus stop chicane is going to slow down. Surely he's got to slow down. He doesn't want another lap, does PM10, and there we go, he's finished in second. Well done to him. Couldn't quite catch up to RJ. P White, fantastic podium finish for him to take P3. Digi, fantastic debut to the channel anyway. And he's going to get fourth as he comes towards the end of Blanchimont. Brilliant race. Shame about the lag. Like I say, not his fault. He can't help it. If the internet providers don't do their job, that's what happens. So Digi across the line to take fourth. Grahamid, good battling from Grahamid. Gets him into P5. We thought he was on for a podium at one point, didn't we? But couldn't quite get there. But Grahamid, a respectable P5 for him. Then Vane, well done to Vane. Good season. Across the line to finish in P6. Kian will finish, I think, in 7th, unless Rufus has got something to do about it, as they battle their way through the bus stop chicane. And I think Kian is just about going to get there ahead of Rufus. So good racing from these two guys. Rufus in 8th. The Saint has already finished in 10th. Steele, as he comes around the bus stop chicane for the final time, will cross the line in 9th. Smith will be in 11th. And RJ, our race winner, almost a lap of honour for him. He's got the fastest lap and he's got the win. Into the bus stop chicane he goes. Brilliant stuff from RJ. A well-deserved win. Congratulations to him. And as we see, Smith will cross the line in 11th. Fantastic stuff from the lead two guys in the Super Formula Series. Now, I did say I would read out the league table. This is the final standings. So season finished, and this is the final league table. So it's the top 5, and it is PM10 that takes the championship. So congratulations to him. Raced an absolute blinder all season. Last couple of races didn't quite go his way, but he has dominated. So it was inevitable he was going to take it. So well done to PM10 for the championship win. P White, brilliant stuff from P White. He came in second on 148 points. Sorry, PM10 got 212. P White got 148 points in second. Brilliant stuff from him. Grahamid, well done to Grahamid. He takes third overall on 125 points. RJ in fourth on 117 points. Fantastic racing from RJ, especially that last race. as you've seen, maximum points, but it just wasn't quite enough. And then Panic at the Tesco down in 5th, didn't race today, he finished on 113 points. So brilliant stuff from these guys. As I've said, I've really enjoyed watching them. I hope you have too. If you have, remember to hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, do me a favour and do so. We've got lots and lots of races ahead for you. We've got our Sunday Championship still to come, so I'll be doing that a little bit later on. Thank you everybody for watching. I really enjoyed your company this season, and I shall catch you all very soon.